Big McIntosh, Coloratura, A True Love by Switched Up. Shortly after Coloratura actually found out the truth about her former manager, Sven Gallup, how much he used her for his own personal gain. After that she fired him, she had no idea how she would still continue within the musical business. Without a manager, she thought that her career would end. But it turns out, after she came back to Manhattan after her concert for the charity in Ponyville, she had a lot of support from a lot of other great singers. She had actually never thought that those other popular singers was actually going to be there. She had actually no idea about it. And she didn't even believe that this news about Sven Gallup had been actually reached so far in over just a day. But help from the other singers, they managed to find a new honest manager for the Coloratura. And for the next couple of months after, Coloratura was still skeptical about this new manager. It happens that he had taken secret calls at the office, or even getting some letters, or even meeting some strange ponies. She thought that he was using her image for her popularity and doing some business deals behind her back. And she had enough of that since her previously manager. So one day she actually walked up to his office and told him straight out to let him know if he has done any bad deals behind her back like her old manager did, she would quit and find another manager. But her manager, he wasn't mad. In fact, he told her that he knows how she felt about Sven Gallup did for her previously. But, in fact, she actually had nothing to worry about. He explained all the secret meetings, all the newspaper, all the letters, all the calls he had received during the time when he became her new manager was actually not a bad thing. It turns out most of the ponies he had meeting in secret was actually members within the recording studios across Equestria. Some were from Trottingham, some was from Manhattan, and a couple were from Canterlot, and even some from Saudi Arabia. But those letters that she had been sending was actually messages back from those foreign from Saudi Arabia. And the calls were also from other locally that they were actually some business has been going not so well. Like he had actually been starting some other secretly charities concerts to helping some local theater schools, movie cinema, and other local schools who needed some money for the students for new equipment or something. And when she found out about this, she felt so guilty. She felt guilty accusing her new manager for doing some bad things without looking at the fact first. And she apologized to him all right away how much about these bad things she told him. But he assured her he did actually understood that she took things beforehand to look out the fact before accusing. And she promised in the future to always look after the facts first before starting accusing her new manager or any other opponents. And she even asked when those charities going to happen, and he explained that some of them were actually going to happen the same week, others were going to happen next month, and particular date he had already put them up. And of course, he said that he is going to take a small amount of the earning from the charity. And she asked him how much. Only 10 bits. 10 bits? That was even much less than what Sven Gallup took. He took nearly 1,000 bits for his time with Coloratura. But 10 bits? It was much less than actually had. She asked him what he's going to do with his money. He explained he will use the money that his savings for an upcoming concert in Ponyville. He's actually saving up those money because of for another upcoming charity concert in Ponyville. But it turns out he has an aunt who lives in Ponyville, and she is very ill. And the doctors had told him that she might not have much time left. So he has started his personal charity collection. Only take 10 bits from every concert, every charity in his own personal gain to help his aunt for the last time she had alive. And Coloratura, she was very touched. And secretly, she started a fund in her manager's aunt's name. But it was a secret. She actually took maybe 1,600 bits from her own money, her own savings that she had in that fund, and started asking around all of those some others, singers, friends, colleagues, if they could provide something for her fund, which they did. And for the next couple of days, she actually had written letters to Applejack. They had been writing letters back and forth to each other just to see how things are going on after Sven Gallup's betrayal of her trust. Applejack was very happy to see that this culture had a new manager who was more honest and more sure that her popularity doesn't overwhelm her much. And he even allows her to take breaks from her recordings, concerts, so she doesn't get overworked, overwhelmed, and that she gets so much vacation time she needs. And she even informed Applejack about this upcoming charity concert in Ponyville within the next couple of months. Applejack was glad to see her friend again. At the same time, in Ponyville, Applejack's big brother, Big McIntosh, has actually been in love with his sister's friend for a number of years. He has never actually been able to tell her because after she became famous, he thought that he would never had any chance to be with her since she is a famous singer and he is a farmer. So he actually had almost forgot about her until Applejack mentioned that she is home to Ponyville and that he actually went to see her. Well, to see the concert. He was surprised to see how much she had changed over the past first concert. But since after that, Applejack informed her her brother what had caused Coloratura to be altered. He was shocked because all the stories he knows about Coloratura from her fillyhood was actually that she was kind, sweet, honest, and very laughing child. And from the first concert she'd seen her in years, it was like watching a stone wall. But Applejack and her friends managed to open Coloratura's eyes and see how Sven Gallop had been treating her and her fans and the audience over the past time when he was her manager. And now he was happy to see her again. And this time he wonders, will he try to meet up Coloratura to even ask her the big question? Or even perhaps at least tell her how he feels about her. He has even told his sisters or any other pony about his feelings for Coloratura. The concert, about a few months later, during the summer, she's supposed to be there at least the same day before the concert. But her manager agrees to let her go there at least a week earlier, so she can have some spare time, spend some time with her friends, and so she can relax and resting her voice from any to be not to be tired. Applejack met actually Coloratura at the farm because Coloratura didn't want to pay much draw much attention about that she was there much earlier, because if she did, she would have never had any spare time or any privacy. She didn't left the farm at all time when she was there. She actually played games with Applejack, Big Mac, and even Applebloom. But it was just the one thing that she liked to do the most. It was actually baking. She loved to bake with Granny Smith even as a filly. Granny Smith saw Coloratura like another granddaughter. They were actually very good to each other. But then, just a day before the concert, Big Mac saw that Coloratura was alone at the farm while Applejack and Applebloom was somewhere else. So he actually walked up to her and they started talking about some other things. But then he asked her if he can tell her something, and she smiled and nodded. He actually told her about his feelings for Coloratura. Even then, it has been so long, and he also said that he understood if she doesn't have the same feelings back for him. And just after he was finished, she wasn't mad, she was just smiled. He was prepared for her to start laughing at him, saying that he was just being silly, that they were being accepted, since she's a famous singer, he's a farmer. But she just stood there, smiling, and walking slowly up to him, and said that she thinks he's very handsome, very honest, and very lovely. She even kissed him and smiled and said she would actually go out with him, even though he hadn't even asked her out. That took him off guard. That was just one thing that he was afraid of, even though. How the public will react. A famous singer dating a farmer. But he didn't say much about it. So after the concert the next day, she decided to stay in Ponyville for about another week, since she has no more concerts for the next couple of months. So the next day after the concert, Coloratura told Applejack and Applebloom about her date with Big Mac. Applejack was very surprised. She had never noticed how much her brother loved her friend. but she was actually supportive. So when Big Mac and Coloratura went on a date on the town, she acted that they were on a date, but Big Mac acted that they're just friends. And she then started to ask, why so suddenly they saying that you're just friends, been out having some lunch together, not as a date? He was worried how she would react if he told her. But he had to be honest, so he did tell her. He did tell her that he was afraid how the reaction to the public if they find out that she is a famous singer dating a simple farmer, and especially an apple farmer from a country town. Coloratura was outraged. She could never expect that from him. She was first calm, and when she heard that, from calm to a second, anger. She literally screamed at him. How could he think even that? She didn't care if the public had a negative view about her being with a farmer, or if he was a singer or a dancer or perhaps an actor. But before he could say anything and like apologize, she left. She went back to the farm as quickly as she could, took her baggage, and left. She didn't say even goodbye to Applejack or Applebloom. And they looked at each other. Why did suddenly she was happy when she left, and now she's angry when she came back? Just some time after that, she went to his train station and left. Big Mac came back, and they also both was wondering what happened. Applejack didn't understood, but Big Mac, he didn't say. He didn't answer. Instead, he went to his own room and stayed there for the rest of the day. But the next morning, Applejack, Applebloom, and Granny Smith was still waiting in the kitchen, eating breakfast when he came down. Even they then asked him again. He didn't want to answer, but he had to. They had the right to know. So after he informed them what happened, Applejack, she wasn't happy. How could he done it? How could he be so recklessly stupid, telling his true love, being so acting as such a fool? He told her Applejack he didn't want to be her to be outlaughed, ultimately to be outcast, if she found out he was dating a famous singer that he's a simple farmer. Applejack said she if she was dating a famous actor or a famous singer, and even that she's a farmer, she would actually be proudly open about it, not hide, not to even proceed acting as though she's a famous herself. She actually told Big Mac, go to Manhattan, talk to Coloratura, make these things out. Don't come back until you have. And even Granny Smith was very unhappy about her grandson, and he had no opportunity to do it. So he actually ate his breakfast, left town, went all the way to Manhattan. The first, Coloratura didn't want to talk to her. Even he asked her manager to try to at least listen what he had to say. She agrees, but didn't say anything, and after they said that, she listened and apologized. And before that, he said, I understood that you don't want to date me anymore, and I am now leaving. And just before then, she actually ran up to him, hugged him, and kissed him, and said that she accepted his apology and didn't care if he was a famous singer or actor, because she loves him because he's handsome, honest, and very caring. She didn't care if he's just a simple farmer or a famous pony. Even her manager agrees. He can notice how much honestly a Big Mac means to Coloratura. So they actually went out for another date, and Pony started asking who this stallion were. She said that is her boyfriend in as a farmer, but to his reaction, no, Pony didn't say much about it, as just saying that she was happy with some pony. And only about a few years later, Big Mac actually proposed to Goldshore, and she was very happy to at least accept his proposal. And this big wedding was actually held at Sweet Apple Acres only a few weeks later. The entire Apple family from across Equestria was invited. Big Mac was not happy, and especially Applejack and even Applebloom was happy to see their brother to be married with his true love. And barely 4 years later, Applejack became an aunt herself. Coloratura had actually twin daughters, and only about 4 years later after that, a son. Big Mac and Coloratura was happy to be married and having their own family. Coloratura actually moved to Ponyville and starting an acting and singer school there. And her manager, he moved his office there as well. And that's how Big McIntosh, Coloratura, found a true love, got a big family. The end.